You're all relatively new to me, actually. And I think the biggest thing I wanted was simply to be held in this gaze that I've watched on videos and is so tolerant and loving. And
well, it's because you're so good.
oh, my goodness. But I do have a burning question that's come up in the last little while. I'm not unique in the experience of having been sexually abused as a child. And it's only been in the last 10 years or so that these memories have come to the surface. And I've also come to the realization that I vibrate to a certain degree in fear of sexual harm. And I really feel that now I'm in a place where I don't give it energy. It doesn't really affect me or cause any anxiety. But very recently, I had a dream a couple of years ago when I moved into the home that I'm living in now that was a bit frightening, and I put it to the back of my mind and tried not to think about it or give it energy. But very recently, a month ago in fact, my yoga teacher, who is my spiritual mother, and I've been with her for 26 years, she's been telling me for months, you have to move, you have to move, you have to come back to where I was living originally. And a month ago, she had a dream that frightened all of us, my family, myself. It could be symbolic, but it seemed so literal, and that I was in some kind of danger. So now I'm wondering if I'm vibrating in a place where the worst that I attract is a bad dream, or if you can tell that there is actually some danger, that I may have accumulated some momentum over the course of a lifetime.
Well, we want to give you something that, from our perspective, is more important than what you fear you may be moving toward. Mm-hmm. And we are so happy to have this discussion because it's so important for so many of our physical friends. It's interesting to us that the conversation of something unwanted happening is in preparation or prevention of the manifestation, when the discord and the dis-ease and the unhappiness around it are present tense, not future tense. In other words, we get it that if you have a premonition or a dream about something that you wouldn't want to happen, that you would want to head it off in some way. But we want to talk about the fearful emotions that you are feeling and the awfulness of that in your moment in time. And what if it's only about that? Is that worth a conversation also? In other words, most people are willing to have a conversation about preventing something bad from actually happening, but they're not so eager to have a conversation about getting those things out of your vibration so that you're not feeling around them. And your life experience is about how you feel now and how you feel now and how you feel now and how you feel now. You know, it's about how you feel now. It's not about what's going to happen and how you might feel if that were to happen. It's how you feel when you even think about how you might feel if that would happen. It's how you're feeling now, how you're feeling now, how you're feeling now, how you're feeling now. So we are not having a conversation with you in order to help you to prevent some unwanted thing from happening. We think there's an unwanted thing happening right here and now. We think that you're holding thoughts about unwanted things and they are messing up your life now, right now, right now, right now. That's what this is all about, you see. Humans are willing to feel negative emotion. They just don't want the further manifestation of it. And that really is the strongest point that we would like to make with all of you. We would like you, and you said to us, you gave the answer to yourself in your opening words to us. You said, Abraham, I just want to be in your gaze because you are so tolerant, you said. You like the feeling of someone who feels good when they look at you. You like the feeling of someone who doesn't look for your troubles and try to amplify them so that you can then run away from them or deal with your troubles. You like the feeling of well-being because that is what is natural to you, you see. There are so many people who've had so many experiences, and we don't deny that there have been unwanted things that have happened to you in the past that you may not want to repeat. But we also know that any thought about anything not wanted, no matter when it happened or when you might think it happened, or when you might anticipate that it might happen, brings it to your present and prevents you from the gaze that you so desire, that gaze of expectation of well-being, you see. There are a lot of people who are having past life regressions, who are coming up with all kinds of things they are sure that happened to them. And we say, whether they happened or whether they didn't happen, why are you keeping them active in your vibration by focusing upon them? People will say, well, I had a past life regression and it was clear I was raped in that lifetime and that one 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 and that one. And we say, well, we don't know if you're getting your past life or somebody else's, but we know for sure that what you're getting in your past life regression is something that's active in your vibration right now. And that's true of what's happening in your dream. So let's talk about this from this grid standpoint. You say you're new to us. So we're just going to give you a little basis of understanding here. And you will hear it so easily. This will not be difficult for you to hear at all. So when you know what you don't want, what you do want radiates out, whether you're able to speak words to it or not. And all of those, what I do want, what I do want, what I do prefer, are rockets of desire. They are vibrational predecessors. They are vibrational rockets that are, contained isn't the right word, held isn't the right word, but they exist in a vibrational, what we are calling a vortex, because it is a spinning, collective, cooperative component environment. And it's where who you really are exists. And it's who you can manifest, provide you find vibrational alignment with it. It's the best of all that you've carved out, of all that you've lived. And it stands as the true essence of who you are. Now, when we look at you, that's what we see. That's why you don't see worry in our eyes. Mm-hmm. It's why you don't see condemnation about anything ever. It's because we know who you are, and who you are is pleasing. So here's this vortex, and here you are standing in your physical body, achieving a point of attraction based upon what you're thinking about. When you watch television, it causes you to offer a vibration. Watch the same show often, it will train you into a vibration. Read books, it causes you to offer a vibration. Read the same book over and over and over again, it will train you into a vibration. Have a relationship with someone, even if it's someone a long time ago, and keep a memory active, it will train you into a vibration. And your vibration equals your point of attraction, which means what comes to you. And it also, in the context of what we're talking about here today, equals your grid. Your point of attraction and your grid are the same thing. So in what you would call the perfect unfolding of your life, we know you would call it that. In that perfect environment, what's happening is you are finding this which is pleasing to think about and this which is pleasing to think about, and oh, that's not so pleasing, so I will divert myself from that. Jesus said, turn the other cheek. That's what he's talking about. Not keeping active something in my vibration that I'm not wanting to encourage or participate or add to.
I'm trying.
So as you are withdrawing your attention from unwanted things and focusing upon wanted things, little by little by little by little, you accomplish a vibrational grid that is so in sync with who you really are and what's in your vortex, that just like water flows downstream, just like all things that are natural into the sequences of the universe, what's in your vortex flows naturally into your grid. And that's when you have a manifestation. Now, a dream is a manifestation. That dream is a vivid depiction of something. The question that we want you to ask yourself is, what grid did that dream flow from? It certainly didn't flow from who you really are. It didn't flow from this dominant grid of who you are, who you were when you were born, and all that you've added to it ever since. It's flowing from some other grid. And we're certainly not saying you made it up, and we're certainly not saying that you aren't justified in having such a grid. We're just asking one simple question. Is that a grid you want to fill in? And clearly it isn't. You didn't like it when you dreamed it. So, or when it was dreamed, when it was reported to you.
Right, and she has had these premonitory dreams before, which is what shook me up. And I was in a place of being so happy and bopping along, and learning that the vibration you hold is what you attract to yourself freaked me out even more, because I was freaked out about, the dream.
Well, why would you be freaked out about what somebody else flowed into their grid?
Well, I was freaked out about being freaked out.
Hear it. Why would you be freaked out about what somebody else flowed into their grid?
Because she knew when my eldest daughter was pregnant before she got pregnant. She knew when my youngest daughter was in trouble when I said, no, she's not. She knows things.
So she taps in to unwanted grids.
And she doesn't like this, that she had to share that with me.
Well, we don't blame her.
Yeah. I told her that I feel that it was an angel whispering in her ear that through her, I will always be safe, and they will find ways to keep me safe.
Well, now that's a grid. That's the grid worth promoting.
Okay.
And how many minutes into this discussion were we before you said that?
Right, and I know I'm defending,
it's all right, but that's the discussion, that's the grid that you want to establish. That's the grid. I know that my well-being is dominant, and it doesn't matter what's been scattered around. It's logical that if I had an early experience that there could be something still moving around in my vibration that could equal a strong enough point of attraction that somebody might pick up on it in some way. But the dominant vibration within me is one of well-being, and that's the one that I'm nurturing, that's the one that I'm practicing, that's the one that really equals who I am.
That is absolutely true. And I guess what I wanted was for Abraham to tell me one way or the other how my vibration is. Like,
well, there are two ways of knowing. You can feel the emotion of it, or you can wait for the manifestation that confirms it.
I'm actually getting out of Dodge. As soon as I get home, I'm putting my house up for sale. So I'm taking action, and it could very well be that these dreams are telling me to just move because there's so much unfolding that's so wonderful and beautiful.
Well, those dreams usually feel different. Those dreams call you to good things rather than drive you away from bad things.
Okay.
And the thing about it is, and we're not saying don't move, we've been saying for a long time, people will say, Abraham, I'm sitting on a park bench and I fear that there's a monster in the bushes. What should I do? And we say, well, whether there's a monster in the bushes or not, get off the bench. Get off the bench, right? Because your concern that it is there is causing you to offer a vibration that is causing a point of attraction that is not good for you. But we really want you, in the process of whatever you're doing, to shore up your knowledge, your expectation that things are working out for you. That and you can't do both. You can't run from unwanted things and run toward wanted things at the same time. They are such different frequencies, and that's what people don't understand. They think, wait, if I run away from unwanted, aren't I moving in the direction of wanted? And we say, no, you're moving in the direction of more unwanted. You take yourself with you. You cannot push hard enough against something unwanted to make it go away. The harder you push against it, the more entrenched in the vibration of it you become, you see. So this is not about some dangerous thing that you're trying to avoid. This is about guidance that is coming to you. What this conversation is really about is using outside guidance that it speaks to what we were talking about earlier. It's easier to hear a voice than it is to feel the subtlety of the emotions within you. And we think this conversation is more about you not trusting your own guidance than anything else, you see. So if we were standing in your physical shoes and we found ourselves worried about the direction we're going or worried about what we might run into in the direction that we're going, we'd just sit down and regain our balance. And then when we felt an inspiration to get up and go, we'd get up and go, you see. Do you believe that we'll start in another place because we know what you bear. Do you understand that the dominant vibration within you is one of well-being?
Yes.
Do you understand that that's true of everyone?
Yes.
Does it trouble you that knowing that still unwanted things happen to some people? Because that's the place where you're stuck. In other words, you know so much. You know of unwanted things happening. And you know of premonitions about those unwanted things happening. So what is guidance anyway? Is guidance always guiding you toward what you want? Or is guidance sometimes an impulse to just move away from what you don't want?
Oh, I think it's moving me toward, I know it's moving me toward what I want.
Think about it in the literal sense that we ask it. Would it be wrong for your guidance system to be moving you away from something unwanted? Is there any big distinction between moving away from unwanted and moving toward wanted?
Well, I believe you just said that there was, but I have other reasons for moving, family and work and so on. So I see the moving away from the unwanted.
Are you looking for an excuse to move?
I am.
Do you need to be motivated by unwanted things in order to move in the direction of what you want?
I wonder.
Can you not give yourself permission to move toward what you want without trumping up some bogus boogeyman in the bushes?
Well, I was resisting, and it was probably resisting the packing and all of that. But I do want to move closer to my family and grandchildren and all of that.
So just be easy about all of this and get into that place of feeling good as much as you can and follow the inspiration of that which is calling you. But we think it is important to point out that guidance is about the way you feel. And the way you feel is about the harmony between what you want and whatever you're focused upon in the moment. And when you feel negative emotion, it means that there's some discord going on in your vibration. So there is some reason for the discord. And what we feel from you is a need to blow the discord into huge proportion in order to give yourself permission to do what you want to do anyway. And you're not alone in that. A whole lot of people are doing a whole lot of that. Right. And the reason for it is because they don't feel the love that Source feels for them. They don't feel deserving of good things just coming, you see.
Yes, that sense of deserving is a relatively recent development. Recent meaning in the past 6-8 years.
Yeah. Well, foster it.
I'm grateful
for it.
Get
used to it.
Yeah.
Good.
I have one more little thing.
Let's leave it where it is.
Okay.
Perfect where it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.